I'll give that to these Knives Out movies. They always look slick. They look classy. Which you can too with the sponsor of this video. This video is brought to you by Holzkern. Holzkern has watches, jewelry, and accessories with a unique flair for both men and women. They're made from natural materials, so every piece feels unique, feels of the earth. This time around, I opted for the Milestones watch in nacre and dark gray. The dial has that eye-catching inside of a seashell look, which is unique. It's gonna catch some eyes. It's gonna be a conversation starter. And as I mentioned earlier, Holzkern has accessories too, because you don't have to get a watch to up your wrist game. We all know that friend, mom, or dad looking to up their game with a unique piece on their wrist, because the class of a mechanical watch will outlive any smartwatch monstrosity you can conjure on your wrist. Holzkern products do have a 2-year warranty, and I always appreciate that. So click the link below. Go to holzkern.com/Johns. Code Johns gets you 15% off your purchase site-wide. For a limited time only, so you gotta make it fast. And orders placed by December 19th, guaranteed delivery by Christmas Day. Because 'tis this season, Holzkern makes a perfect gift. And now there's a new Knives Out film, which means there's been a murder. So Wake Up Dead Man is the newest film in the Knives Out trilogy now, I guess. It's funny because you don't actually have to watch any of the other Knives Out movies in order to watch a new Knives Out movie. They're these stories contained in a bubble, right? Coming to you straight to Netflix. Technically not straight to Netflix. There were 3 theaters in my state showing this movie, I think, max. So to me, it's straight to Netflix. A place where, let's be honest, we're all wrestling with the fact that all our favorite Warner Brothers movies are going to end up there eventually. And this film follows a young priest played by Josh O'Connor. Yeah, quite a twist, right? Very twisty. Funny enough, of all the twists and turns in the movie, that was probably the first one. The fact that we don't see Benoit Blanc for about a half an hour of the movie. Point is, this young priest is sent to this church run by Monsignor Jefferson Wicks, played by Josh Brolin. He's a very charismatic church leader. He has a very close-knit group of regulars that show up for his service. He's very bombastic, but then there is a murder. Then Benoit Blanc shows up, played famously by Daniel Craig. He's here to crack the case. And I'm gonna get right to, I'm gonna bury the lead a little bit, but not too much here. I found the murder mystery in Wake Up Dead Man more interesting than the previous 2 Knives Out movies. Be Knives Out and Glass Onion. Because the whole thing revolves around a locked room mystery. Although the room wasn't locked, there was one way in, one way out. But point is, this person enters a very small room, one way in, one way out. There are eyes that have line of sight on the entrance of the room, and then the person drops dead. I know what you're thinking. Oh, it could have been this, could have been that. Well, I'm not gonna tell you the possibilities. You gotta watch the movie. But I found that Rian Johnson, I don't want to say streamlined, because it sounds like it's nerfed. But in the other Knives Out movies, I always felt like the possibilities of what could have happened are endless. Whereas Wake Up Dead Man had a more focused approach to the murder mystery. There are only a few possibilities in which this person could have been murdered. That's far more engaging for me, as I was hooked, I was in. And whereas earlier in this video, I said Daniel Craig doesn't show up for at least 30 minutes of this movie, between 30 and 40. That sounds like a slight, like it's a negative. I don't mean for it to be that way. I really do feel like Rian Johnson used that time well. We hang out with who is to be the prime suspect. It really does do its part to divide the audience's allegiance here. That's fun, man. That's some good cat and mouse shit among a murder mystery. Also, I'm constantly baffled, impressed, I guess is the word, that Rian Johnson can pull a solid cast. There are those directors working where you just feel like the actors want to be a part of the next thing. Don't know if it's Rian Johnson specifically or Rian Johnson's next Knives Out movie. The script is doing everything in its power for you to suspect everybody, and the actors are doing their part to sell the fact that it could be any one of them. All of which important in a murder mystery, and Wake Up Dead Man does it well. Also, on a personal note, I mean, of course it's a personal note, it's a YouTube video. What are reviews if not personal opinions masquerading as objective thoughts? But I thought Wake Up Dead Man, aesthetically speaking, is also the most interesting of the Knives Out movies. Like, Rian Johnson's always been good with the camera work, or Rian Johnson's cinematographer, but I'm talking about the religious iconography, the old Catholic cathedral. I was in Ireland earlier this year with my family, and I'm telling you, those cathedrals are impressive. They're amazing. We would just walk into them, sit down, and be in awe. This movie really plays it up. Benoit Blanc even has a monologue about how impressive the stuff is. I just think a murder mystery between religious leaders and their followers, their flock, is more interesting than what I've seen in Knives Out before. This murder mystery does come across as seemingly impossible. You really do get the feeling, I mean, it's part 3 of a trilogy. I mean, technically speaking. But usually in the 3rd chapter, you hear this is the most difficult case yet. This might actually stump him for real. You do feel like that as you're watching this. The murder is constantly described as impossible, and you do feel like this might have been impossible. It's seemingly impossible, but also the most accessible Knives Out film. Because, and this is my favorite part of Wake Up Dead Man, one of my constant complaints about the Knives Out movies is the fact that what I like in a murder mystery is a murder mystery where you, the audience, feel like you are solving it with the main characters. But Knives Out and Glass Onion, they had their fun element, you know, they were thrillers with snarky humor, but I never felt engaged with the murder mystery. I felt like I was watching a guy solve a murder mystery, and there was no way I could be there mentally trying to piece it together. Wake Up Dead Man is by far the most engaging Knives Out mystery. Yeah, there are twists, turns, and curveballs in Wake Up Dead Man, as the other two films also had. The difference being with Wake Up Dead Man, you consistently feel like you're only missing a couple key pieces of information. You're almost there. You can almost solve it. And that kept me hooked, locked in, and engaged. I appreciate when a murder mystery lends itself to audience members mentally collaborating with the murder mystery. They don't all do it, but my favorite ones do, and Wake Up Dead Man did. And there were these nice human moments with Benoit Blanc as well. I'm used to the tormented genius who are really good at solving cases, solving puzzles. I'm a big House fan, what can I say? He says in the movie he's a proud heretic. He's an atheist there to solve this Catholic Church murder. I guess I've come to expect what I've come to expect from that dynamic and setup, but there were a couple moments where I was like, that was remarkably caring in terms of the person-to-person interaction there in the moment. What can I say? Some good human moments there. In the end, yeah, I really enjoyed Wake Up Dead Man. It is absolutely my favorite of the Knives Out films, and that's a fact. It's interesting, fun, solid character tension, funny at times, with the most interesting set location among the three films as well. If you've been a fan of the Knives Out movies thus far, you won't be disappointed. If you have not been a fan of the Knives Out movies thus far, this one might surprise you. I think Wake Up Dead Man's worth watching and worth buying on Blu-ray. I mean, you know, if Netflix is into that sort of thing, hard copies and all. All right, so Wake Up Dead Man, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite Knives Out movie? Or how do you rank them? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.